One of my favourite irritations, hopefully this episode, so stay tuned. Fuel tank cleaner, which is what I wanted, in a fairly large box, in another fairly large box. What is wrong with people? Having read the instructions, yes, I did read the instructions on the fuel tank cleaning process. There's a lot of swishing involved and a lot of leaving, and then there's rinsing involved. It didn't say rinse with what. Don't really feel like rinsing out with water. Doesn't seem to be like a good idea. Maybe with some new fuel, I don't know. Anyway, I consulted my mechanical helpline, otherwise known as Kurt, and he suggested that if it's only been sat a year, drain the old fuel, which is probably alright anyway, but drain that fuel and rinse it out with a little bit of new fuel, and then just fill it up with new fuel and go. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm returning this to Speedway Motors in its original box, which is designed for shipping. It has a shipping label square on it, and it's still massive. I mean, the whole thing's no bigger than a tin of paint. I mean, look, you could get 5 of them in there. Well, 4. So I shall be off to get some new gas in my explosive safe Paddy Hopkirk. Very clever. Yes, it was my granddad's. More exciting things from eBay today. Battery for the R6, new rear and front sprocket for the R6, and a new chain for the R6. And I went for red. Don't know why. Well, I kind of do. Yeah, I didn't want gold because I think gold's gonna clash with yellow, and red is all part of that clash thing, right? I'm talking of the clashing. So let's get that all charged up and ready to go, and that'll give me plenty to do on Sunday, which is National Brit Bashing Day here in the USA. All my American friends will be celebrating getting rid of us Brits on July 4th. Yes, I don't know when this program will go out, but that's when this bit's being recorded. Fuel tank is completely drained now. I disconnected all that shit and dropped it out the bottom. So we are officially on empty. Must say it looked alright. Smelled a bit funny. Don't know if he's running diesel, who knows. Anyway, that all important startup is looming. I shall try and get some gas tomorrow, and yeah, maybe Sunday, bloody Sunday. Having done this super short chop on the seat, because the seat itself comes out to about there, right? Yeah, something like that. But I do like it, but I'm just thinking ahead, as you should. And you know, given the fuel tank comes to here, albeit just the tapered end, I'm going to need somewhere to put the battery. We've got some nice bolts there that we can use. Anyway, so yeah, before I dismantle any more desks, luckily I've got a few bits left over. One with a back end, one without. Yes, this was the original Augusta one. Nicely sprayed gold. I have to spray it yellow now. Anyway, that could go in kind of like that. Don't know if the battery would sit. Yeah, I think it would. I think the battery would fit there, and potentially the well, yeah. Then we got the ECU, and we got the regulator. So there's a lot of stuff that needs mounting. Don't know if we got enough room, honestly. Perhaps something I should have considered before I did the super chip chop. That's not a chip shop, that's something entirely different. Anyway, in terms of maximizing tray space, could go this way. That could work. And That could potentially look all right. I mean, yeah, something like that. Don't need that bit, obviously. Yeah, that might work. Early days, and this is all loomed up at the moment, heading backwards, because that's everything went in the tail as per usual, you know, with everything. But potentially the regulator could be ripped out of there, and I don't know, you know, if it's this boy here, then it could go forward and sit in this void that I've recreated as per the monster. Plenty of fresh air coming in to cool it down. Yeah. So we might end up with another little cradle in there. Don't really want to start messing around with any more electrics than I have to at the moment, because I just want the bike to be as was as much as possible before we try the restart. Hopefully this episode, so stay tuned. Which reminds me, YouTube tells me I should put these things earlier in the video, so thank you for tuning in the first place. Much appreciated. And do subscribe if you haven't already. That's down here somewhere, or is it over there? I don't know. Somewhere along here. Subscribe and invite others to watch my lunacy. Don't just love it when the first sign that you've actually hurt yourself is red stuff. Yes. Hope you're not squeamish, and that's probably why you should wear gloves, but some things are fiddly. I've done it, and just suddenly red stuff all over the place. And what was I doing at the time? Well, of course, I was unravelling wiring like I said I wouldn't. But a flesh wound. So for this kind of operation, rather than my trusty knife, I like to use pointy scissors. I'm not sure whether these are surgical or hairdressing scissors, but anyway, pointy edge. If you don't know a hairdresser, luckily or unluckily, I used to be married to one, so these are kicking around. If you don't know one, you probably know a Porsche Boxster owner. Just go see them. You're bound to have a pair kicking around, or maybe a Mazda MX-5 Miata owner. No, both great cars. Ricky Booby has a Porsche Boxster, and apparently he has very high testosterone levels too. Much information? I thought so when he told me. Why am I doing this? You may well ask. It's just curiosity, really. What I want to do is potentially mount this boy up here, as I just said, I think. And yeah, so I want to trace these wires and try and chase them out of that loom, because clearly they go this far, and that's 6 inches, they're getting to there. So if I can get them a little bit further, that'd be good. Yeah. Look at it. I promised myself I'd get an older bike where there wasn't all this wiring. Done it again. The good news is that these boys all wiggle around under here, and then they lead to this, which is a nice plug. So that would definitely all go forward. However, it's never that easy, is it? There's also this guy here, which I'm guessing is a major earth, and that goes back down here somewhere. I mean, look at all this. Jeez, I think this is the worst yet. Look at it. I think that's enough investigation for one day. I've discovered what I need to discover, and if that is one big earth, then that's fine. I'll just get some serious gauge wire and reroute that. So that's encouraging, actually, despite what I might have initially seemed to be saying. Just another day at the shop. Yeah, we got a new roof because it's going to rain soon. Here they all are. I'm also thinking, from the point of view of a backlight, same kind of deal as the Ducati. I like what I did with that. Is it a cop-out to do the same thing again? I mean, it's cool, right? And potentially, if it came back further, if I can get somebody to cut me a block to order so maybe a foot long, and I don't know, whatever that is, 6 inches or something. Meanwhile, colour-coded battery is fully charged and ready to go. I think I'll get the tank filled up first and put that in place, and then reorganise this to some degree before bolting the battery in finally and hitting the button. Well, I certainly like the yellow inside. I'm just not sure whether I want to do the outside of that rear section yellow as well. That might look nice. Yeah, it's kind of cool just having it inside. And then if that was black, I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. Bearing in mind the fuel tank, something a little like this, or maybe not so much, or not at all. Obviously I've got to paint it black anyway, because of all the, so I might as well paint it all yellow to start with and work backwards from there, I think, once the tank's in place maybe, and not that that's going to be painted yellow that quickly. Yeah, let's try that. Meantime, I've been on Amazon, actually, not eBay, and ordered some really cool lights, I think. Yes, they run yellow or white. So that'll be fun, and I've ordered some different kind of switches which look a little bit more compact, take up less space on the handlebars, which is always a good thing. They're kind of upright, much like that thing. I guess I could end up fumbling around in the dark pressing nuts instead of buttons. I'm sure I want to be pressing my nuts in the middle of the night. Or buttons, indeed. So I ordered a rather natty looking seat cover for this, so that should be cool. Something like this. There we go. No sooner said than done. All yellow. For now, at least. Not bad. Avec le seat for le derrière. Yeah. Still not bad. Thinking my accoutrements tray should probably go longitudinally rather than across, because I'm going to end up with more tray that way, and you know, it can basically come to the frame. Nice big bolt there that secures the shock absorber, that I can probably fit part of it to at least. And then just in there somehow, maybe off these bolts here, although they're too wide at the moment. I'm sure we can put in some device that will connect the two. So that's what I'm thinking. But of course, first there's lots of rerouterage to be done, and that will pan out as we go along, as we get rid of various bodge job switches or replace them, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, it's all going on here today. So the new Speedo case has arrived, and that's all fitted up nicely. We'll come back to that in a minute. Fuel tank is on. Bar the return. So yeah, fuel out, those do. Just going to fit the return, which is this boy down here. So yeah, I think we're kind of ready to fire it up, except that assuming it's like the Ducati, we're going to need the Speedo connected for all things to talk to each other, and I can't find the plug. Pretty sure it should be dangling out there somewhere, but it's not. Oh, I found it. There it is. That's a lot of wire. Okay, good. We can fit that then. Alright, we're all plumbed in. Now we just need to fire it up. I hate these moments. Nearly forgot the gasoline. Duh. Alright, that's that done. Oh yeah, got to hook the battery up. You know how much I love hooking up batteries. Yes, I'm putting things off. Still nervous, and but yeah, I just thought I'd see what the seat looked like, where I think it was going to go. Yeah, I'm not sure if I need to do anything about that gap. Obviously, yes, food for thought. Although it looks kind of functional, in a raw kind of way. Not that kind of raw, though hopefully we'll be hearing the first kind of raw any minute now. Yes, still putting off the inevitable, trying to start it. But I just thought I'd put the Augusta seat on there. Obviously it doesn't match up with that, but yeah, you know, it could work, honestly. If it came to it, that would be an alternative. A lot slimmer than the Yamaha one. Anyway, okay, I'm going to hook up the battery, I promise. Alright, we're all wired up, albeit precariously. Everything balanced everywhere. Okay, first step, let's try the ignition key. Yes, a switch. Well, that's hopeful. We got power. Okay. Time to open the garage door, I think. Much as I like fumigation in the mode of cigarettes, gas fumes, not so much. It smells good, but you know, you need some air with it. Kill switch is at the moment off, so I'm hoping we're going to hear a fuel pump. Nothing. That's a hell of a starter motor. Pretty sure there's no fuel pumping. Disappointing start. Where's Derek when you need him? Forgot to take those out of the air intakes. That might have something to do with it. I was going to do a big reveal and then I completely forgot. Attempt number 2. I don't think we're getting any fuel. Well, a disappointing start, or restart at least. Not unexpected. I was kind of pleased to see lights come on and speedos activate and the kill switch works and the starter works. So the motor's good. Thinking it's fuel pump, why they're not connected properly, or because that may have got disconnected possibly when I drained the tank. Excuse the helicopter coming over. That might have been the problem, I don't know. But that's kind of where I give up and I turn it over to Derek. All part of knowing one's limitations. I could just buy a new fuel pump and plumb it in, maybe, if I was lucky, and still find out that that wasn't the problem. And that's part of it, it's the diagnosis. You know, with the Augusta, I thought it was, what do I think it was? I thought I'd fried the coils, but I hadn't. It was O-rings in the fuel pump. So, yeah, at some point, this is going to go to the motorcycle elf called Derek. I'm also wondering, you know, I'm pretty sure these should have been opening up like that when I opened the throttle, and they weren't. I'm wondering what else is not potentially connected, functioning. To add to it all, there's our new roof, and yeah, it rained, so we got leaks. One of those days. More unravelling. So that's the speedo and all the wiring that goes into that, and that's just a couple of random relays that are also tied into that part of the loom, because obviously all this was behind a fairing like the MV, and so they just kind of threw it behind the fairing where it didn't matter. But I want all the rest of it in there, but obviously I want the speedo is going to have to come through to wherever I mount it, which I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, but it's going to be obviously somewhere up here, visible for the rider. And so yeah, there's going to be a lot of cutting and splicing and rerouting and glorious noodling, because it's not spaghetti, it's not Italian, it's noodles, because it's Japanese. The old and the new. Sweet. And then this arrived too, a whole new rear brake cylinder, reservoir, whole kit and caboodle. How do they do that for 20 bucks? I just had another thought. There's a random red wire, this one, and I have not located the fuses yet on the bike. So maybe there's a blown fuse. Maybe it's as simple as that. And yes, I'm sitting outside and the sky is not blue. We've had some rain, which we very much needed. And Wolf would like to go in. Thankfully, he hasn't worked out doorknobs yet, which is why we put round ones on, because he worked out the handles pretty quick. So I'm about to spend several hours probably Googling a location of YZF-R6 fuse box. At which point I think we can call it a day. Thanks for watching, as always. Let's do this again. Do subscribe somewhere. Encourage others to watch my lunacy.